The great state of Texas has a rhino problem. We've talked about it on this program before, but sadly, they're undercover rhinos. They're trying their best to pretend like they're conservatives or have some connection to conservative values, but they're actually working more with Democrats. And with the new session starting up tomorrow and their big vote for speaker, it's going to be a showdown. Joining me to discuss is Brandon Waltens. He is one of the great folks over at Texas Scorecard. And he also hosts the show Daily Headlines over at Texas Scorecard, and he's with us now. So, Brandon, there's a lot going on right now in the great state of Texas. This speaker's race is heating up, but it's actually not
Yep.
supposed to heat up. It's actually just supposed to be whoever they nominate is supposed to automatically get it. And we know that David Cook was the one who was supposed to be the
Mhm.
speaker, but it's not really playing out to be like that. So, tell us what's going on in Texas.
Yeah, so, who would have thought that in Texas, of all places, we've got large Republican majority in the Texas legislature, both in the House and the Senate. But specifically in the House, you've had a situation now for years where, despite the fact that Republicans control the legislature, there's been essentially a power sharing agreement where Democrats have been given committee chairmanships in exchange for supporting more moderate Republicans to be the Speaker of the House. So you essentially have Democrats running the show, deciding who's going to be the Speaker of the House instead of Republicans. This time set out to be different. There's actually a nomination process. Republicans are supposed to nominate their candidate. They nominated David Cook last month, but that hasn't stopped a small group of Republicans from attempting right now to join and build a coalition of Democrats to thrust a Representative Dustin Burrows, who actually lost the Republican nomination. He literally lost, that vote, and then immediately went and said, "Well, I got the votes to be speaker." He's got more Democrat support than Republicans, and he's trying to scramble something together before the vote tomorrow.
That's concerning because again, I think it's a key 11 Republicans in the House are the ones that we're questioning here. Now, like you mentioned, right? We've seen this play out before. You and I've spoken about this. We know that there was about 2 dozen last time around, but a lot of them lost their elections after they went after Ken Paxton and made that their priority. And it was a big losing factor for them, but 11 of them are still standing right now in the Texas House. And so they're the ones who are pushing all of this. But there seems to be a really interesting connection here that I want to make. And I want you to kind of explain it to our audience because this is really kind of interesting. The Third Coast Bank connection. I saw
Mhm.
AG Paxton talking about this on X. Here's the graphic here. So, what does this all mean? Because I saw you called out somebody else who was lying and said that they didn't have an account, but you found out that they do.
Yeah, so the Third Coast Bank thing is very interesting. We actually reported on this about a year ago when current House Speaker Dade Phelan, he's
Mhm.
actually leaving. He announced he wasn't going to run for reelection for the speakership last month after basically he didn't have the votes to do it, right? And so he's leaving. But we uncovered a year ago that Dade Phelan had actually business had shares in this Third Coast Bank that his family real estate business was very closely tied to it, and that the connection actually went back a little further to the Speaker of the House before Dade Phelan, a guy by the name of Dennis Bonnen, who's now essentially a lobbyist in Austin. He had sold his bank to this Phelan connected Third Coast Bank, and you're starting to draw these lines and say, well, that's interesting. This small bank is sort of showing up a lot of places. Well, then you get some members of the legislature like uh, Cody Harris, somebody who's been a big supporter of Dade Phelan, somebody who is trying to work against David Cook, the Republican nominee for Speaker. He actually last week essentially filed an ethics complaint against the Republican Party of Texas chairman, trying to put him in jail for telling members that they need to support the Republican candidate for Speaker. Turns out that he actually was given a pretty cushy job with the bank just shortly after Phelan became Speaker in 2021. And then you have other members like Dustin Burrows that I previously mentioned that is trying to make this run for Speaker with Democrats. He actually owns shares of this bank. And so you start connecting the dots. You see a lot of these people that are a big part of the establishment, cabal in the Texas House all have connections to this bank. And this isn't just, Texas Scorecard pointing this out or some people, here or there. You actually had the Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick, weighing in
Mhm.
on this last night, comparing it essentially to like a Goodfellas situation where Some members of the House, like Dustin Burrows, Cody Harris, Dade Phelan, seem more interested in just protecting their own personal business than actually helping pass conservative priorities.
Yeah, and it's really scary when you look at that and you see all the connections there. And it's interesting to note too. I actually was on his X page today, Dustin Burrows, and at the very top, I think we got a screen grab of that. He refers to himself as a conservative Republican, even though he's aligning with Democrats, and he's not really doing much to help Republicans out at this point. This seems to be more of a self-interest type of moment for him rather than what's best for the party, and so he's not looking to bow out gracefully. How do you expect the vote that's going to take place tomorrow in Texas? How do you expect that to go for the speaker?
Well, that's the answer everybody wants to know. I wish I knew. Right now, neither member has clearly published a list with a majority of members. That would be 76, and the Texas House is 150 members. But the momentum has certainly been on David Cook's side, the Republican nominee. You've had a lot of members who originally were listed as supporting Burrows come off of that list. They say they're supporting David Cook now. And so, just based on that alone, I think if you're asking, who has the momentum right now, I think it's David Cook. But ultimately, this is going to be something that's decided tomorrow. They gavel in at noon Central Time, and shortly after, they're going to have this speaker vote. And it'll be interesting to see if this is something that just takes one vote, or maybe potentially, could be drawn out, not unlike something we've seen recently in DC. We'll just have to see how it plays out tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to be corny and call it a Texas showdown, and it's going to be taking place tomorrow. And we look forward to watching it, Brandon, because it's going to be an interesting one. I know there's so many incredible conservatives right now in the state of Texas who are really hoping to pull this MAGA victory off. So we will be sitting back and watching. Brandon, thank you for everything that you do. Again, to our audience, all of his work is over at Texas Scorecard. So make sure you head on over there and follow the show, because there's a lot going on in the great state of Texas, and Americans need to know what's going on. So thank you, Brandon. In case you didn't know, this show is available as a podcast as well. So make sure you head on over to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, whatever your favorite podcasting platform is, and give us a follow. We've got a ton of exclusive content coming your way. I'm heading to DC for the inauguration, so don't miss out on any of my coverage. The best part about having a show like this one is I get to pick who we partner with. So I only partner with patriots and companies that truly believe in the same things that you and I believe in. And so, okay, in all of that, I'm working with Mike Lindell over at My Pillow. Mike Lindell has a great line of products. He's a patriot. He literally put everything on the line for this country. So you got to head over to mypillow.com right now, because there's a New Year's sale going on right now. Incredible, incredible prices. A lot of those pillows that you and I both love, they're on sale. And the best way to lock in those savings is with promo code BRE. That's promo code BRE. I'm actually really excited because the body pillow, I don't think I've seen this inexpensive, is only $29.98 with that promo code BRE that you see there on your screen. That promo code, best one to use to save the most amount of money. Oh, the Giza pillowcases. And I do need 2 more of those, so I'll probably stock up on that soon. Those are on sale right now for $24.98. And if you're a coffee drinker, you guys got to support. You got to support Mike Lindell, and he has an incredible line of my coffee. That's the brand. I was at one of his symposiums for election fraud. Maybe it was like 2 years ago, and he was brewing it. Everyone was loving my coffee. Literally, everyone just chucking cups and cups of it, and everyone thought it was amazing. I don't think they realized at first that it was his brands, and when they finally learned, they were very, very impressed. So you got to head over right now, mypillow.com, use promo code BRE. There are a ton of products you probably didn't even realize that Mike Lindell has, and there's an incredible sale going on right now. So support people that support things that you and I truly do believe in. Head on over to mypillow.com and use promo code BRE. That's promo code BRE to save the most amount of money.